Hello, it's Beartrapt, and the new Twisted Treeline just came out, and in this patch there's also a bunch of Rengar nerfs. So I jumped into a game real quick, um, to try and see how his jungle would go. Uh, Obviously, I didn't usually jungle on Twisted Treeline because I was low elo, and it's easier to do a 2v1 lane or a 2v2 lane, and that's usually a lot more common in low elo games. But in games now, the jungle has been expanded to 3 camps that respawn very quickly. So jungling is actually pretty viable because you're almost always farming camps or ganking lanes. Here, the normal 3-man gank goes a little different because, well, the map is just so different. We're able to get 1 kill here. Actually, I think we're able to get 2 kills here. Obviously, this isn't in spectator because law replay is a little broken at the moment. Yeah, we pick up 2 kills here. Uh, Pretty interesting layout. As you can see, there's like a speed buff. There's a speed buff thing right here, and in the middle, and there's 2 altars. Now, when you get control of one of the altars, it gives your side a buff, which is pretty interesting. And when you get control of both of them, you get like armor, attack damage, and or armor pen. It's a decent buff when you get both. The first buff just gives you a little bit more gold when you're capturing killing minions, and it's a good buff. It's more of a laning buff than anything else. Um, the nerf to Rengar's Q, as far as I understand, it just sort of dropped it a little bit in its effectiveness in its empowered form. So you really won't see too much of a change in his early jungling. Uh, as far as his jungling on this map, the camps don't hit all that hard. I will get pretty low here, but thankfully I did have smite, and I used it early. I'm obviously not going to be clearing super effectively because, well, I didn't really know the camps, but the Wraith camp and the Wolf camp are, I think, a little bit less bothersome than the double golems. So I think I used smite mostly on the double golems when I was early clearing. As you can see, there's a lot of different openings in the jungle to go into the lanes. They really wanted to go for a more aggressive ambush sort of style, and there's no wards now, so nobody really has that much vision on anything. Here I had to abandon a camp because we figured Vlad was gonna get dove, and I tried to bait tried to bait Pantheon there, but he didn't really want to go for me. I thought he would, given Pantheon's kit, how he could pretty much crit me and kill me instantly. Um, I think I'm about to do something really stupid, which is jump onto one of them and try and kill them with empowered Q, even though I know empowered Q has been nerfed. Even though it's been nerfed, you'll still see a lot of chunking happen with it. Yeah, I didn't do anything that dumb, I guess. The altar just unlocked, so I'm gonna try and see if I can't get it. Uh, this map is still in beta, and sometimes the altars do this where they don't do anything when you're on them. And I was just kind of sitting on it; it did nothing, so I just left it alone. Rengar's sustain here in the jungle is still really good. I mean, it's a 15% heal, no matter how you look at it. Unless they nerf the percentage, it's not ever going to be bad sustain. Um, which is really good because, as you can see, these camps they respawn very quickly, and the faster you can clear, the more powerful your jungle is going to be. They decided to do a weird sort of we're going to roam everywhere and have a 2v1 lane and all this other nonsense. So there really wasn't much I could do here. Uh, yeah, Volibear. Good thing about Rengar versus Volibear is if he does try to catch up to you with his run thing, you can pretty much throw a bowl at him and run away. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much par for the course for any enemy chasing you with a speed ability or just chasing you in general as Rengar. If you can land a good bowler, you can usually get away. Um, The new items are pretty interesting. I like to build Heart of Gold on Rengar before, but now with Lord Van Dam's Pillager and the new little Spectral Ward thing, it's pretty cool for him. I don't really know how much he benefits from Spell Vamp, but we're gonna find out because I didn't really get a chance to look at it too much while in game. But he might get Spell Vamp off his W since it deals magic damage. So yeah, it deals magic damage. So I don't know. As you can see, like your empowered Q isn't gonna like decimate one big minion anymore. Not only that, but they're also the big golems, and like I said, they're like the toughest camp. Well, as if you don't count Vile Maw as a camp, which I don't because he's a boss. Here Pantheon is chasing me a little bit. Uh, Again, the altar should be capturable, but it's just not. Uh, they know where I am, but I'm basically just trying to stay, from getting caught. Because I am jungling when they don't have a jungler, so they're just gonna like 3-man roam. Uh, the bush placement on that altar is really good because I can jump to a target from inside that bush, which is really effective. Um, this Vayne was pretty strong the whole game. Here, Vlad has a good ult, but there's just two of us. Vayne comes in a little bit late, but I think they're able to clean up relatively well. Um, that Volibear passive, man, I'll tell you. It is a doozy. So I'm dead right now. Um, while I'm dead, uh, there's two new items. Lord Van Dam's Pillager, which is 40 attack damage, 350 health, 10% cooldown reduction, 25 armor pen, and 10% spell vamp, and that is a really, really good item. It builds out of the Brutalizer, which is great because we've needed something to build out of Brutalizer for a very long time. Not everybody's going to ever want to build a Yomu's. The 350 health, the 40 attack damage, the 10% CDI is just fantastic for an item that doesn't really cost all that much because well, I mean, yeah, it costs a little bit, but it builds out of a Hat of Gold and a Brutalizer, two items which on a Bruiser you really want if you're going to build any kind of damage. The other one is Grez's Spectral Lantern, which is just a Measures Reser that turns into it's a little bit of attack damage, a little bit of armor. Basically, it gives you the Wriggles proc, and it has like I don't think I used it this game, but it has a stealth detection 1 minute cooldown that lets you toss out like a little corky phosphorus bomb, if you know what that looks like, and that'll reveal enemies. It's very useful when you use it. I didn't use it this game. I mean, it's really cool on Rengar because that gives you two forms of self detection. Yeah, this Vladimir played pretty ballsy almost all game long. Uh, jump onto Pantheon there stupidly, but I didn't waste my Q on his shield, which is a mistake I think I made a few times in this game. Uh, I get killed by Lux there, and it's not going to be something we can turn into anything because Vlad got caught out. We really don't have too much help here. Um, while I'm dead, and I won't be alive for a little bit longer, um, I really don't like the new Twisted Tree line is really interesting. It's when I say really interesting, I mean it's one of those maps that is just really high paced. Like it's not like Dominion where if you're not a level 1 champ, you're going to get destroyed and you're never going to be able to come back and I mean Dominion really doesn't I don't know. I don't like Dominion all that much. Even as Rengar, which is considered a pretty strong duelist, I don't really like Dominion. This map it still gives you objectives, it still gives you a reason to be, playing the game but it gives it besides just the PvP, but it gives you enough of the PvP to not be just we're gonna farm all the time and then we're gonna have a late game fight. Um, the roaming, the fact that it's really one of those. Well, how many of us are in the right place at the right time is really interesting, and it's why I like 3v3s to begin with. Here, I use my ult to get away, and we get Volibear, but we don't get Pantheon. I think this Pantheon goes legendary in this game or something. I don't remember. Um, yeah, Pantheon was pretty strong. And Vladimir, though I'm sure he tried his best, he was pretty bad this game. I almost never call anybody bad when I play with them, but I don't know this guy, and he got caught out quite a few times. Not that I'm perfect, not that I don't make mistakes. I make my fair share. But it just seemed like he'd be in the wrong place at the wrong time a lot of the time. Uh, with the way the lanes are structured, uh, the way the lanes are structured, the lane like you're gonna have to pick champs that'll be able to 1v1 or 1v2 their lanes. But I honestly think with the jungle the way it is, people will jungle on this map. Because it just makes sense because the jungle respawns so fast. Every time I've come back to camps, they've been up. Um, I think I think that the problem that people are gonna have on this is that people are going to try and play it like like the old Twisted Tree line, which you can to a degree. Like you can still 3-man gank in the beginning, but I think invading and junglers are going to be the most important thing on this map because being able to effectively farm your jungle, protect your altar, and you know put pressure on lanes is going to be very important. Thankfully, this was a game that I just kind of jumped into. Uh, I would hate to try and do this with my team without knowing anything is going on, and especially the fact that now I've done one, I kind of will be able to help my team uh, handle in an event of an actual match. Uh, Rengar's ult is still amazing. Uh, it is still fantastic, and I absolutely love it. The increase to the cooldown was a nerf they put on his ult. Is it's bad, but it's not terrible because it was coming up a little too often before. Uh, like a lot. It was up almost every single time you came back into lane to gank. Here in threes, it's still up relatively often, which is good, but it's also not up sometimes. But you should never feel wanting for your ult at max level, and that's something that I don't think I felt this game. The altars have amazing little graphics. I really like the new theme of Twisted Treeline. I think the map is beautiful. It looks amazing, even at low settings. I have my settings on high, obviously, but the map is it's fantastic, and I mean the sheer amount of visual design that went into it is really impressive because it looks really fun to be on. It's fun to play on. Uh, and when things, I mean, this is a relatively close game, but like you don't really feel the desperation. I mean, again, this is just a normal. It's not a ranked game, so I didn't really feel terribly worried about the outcome too much. I just really wanted to see the game in general. Um, this was just a bad engage. Again, Vlad got caught out, and stupidly I tried to help him when I should have just left him to die because that was just dumb. Uh, junglers are gonna have a really weird time trying to maintain the jungle, like just clear it efficiently and apply pressure. There, I should have bowled the like I really should have bowled the Volibear so that I didn't die there. I probably would have survived. Uh, yeah, just a bad play on my part. It's it's nothing I could have helped though. Well, I could have helped it, but it's nothing I could have helped at the time. I was just a little too, oh my god, there's three of them and I'm going to die, which isn't very cool. I think I finished the two new items. I pick up another cloth armor because I want to build a ninja tabby. Um, Ninja tabby because Volibear and because Pantheon was like the biggest damage source, and I could zero Lux in like two shots. Um, Again, like I said, the camps are just always up, and it is great. Um, I would say that if you could get a leash real quick at the start, or if you guys get a successful like 3-man, you could maybe do without. You could maybe do without Smite is a little Rengar leapfrog action for you. God, I love this champion so much. Um, but I like Smite, especially because there's a big objective now, Valor, and I'd prefer to have the objective control. Empowered Q still chunks towers, which is always nice, but I also take 1 point in Siege Commander, I think, on my Rengar Masteries. So it was gonna chunk the tower regardless. But yeah, I mean, now with Lord Van Dam's Pillager, you can build a Brutalizer. I mean, that item really should be in Summoner's Rift too. It really should. It is a fantastic item because it is the perfect bruiser item because it gives you everything you need. A little bit of attack damage, a little bit of CDI, a little bit of well, I don't really care about the spell vamp, but it's a fantastic item. Um, as far as the new lantern, it's also good. I don't build wriggles on Rengar when I jungle him in fives, but I like this in threes. I think it's a pretty good item. Trying to get the double ulta buff here. I think we do get it. I don't know. Sometimes the ultas work, sometimes they don't work. I don't really worry about it too much. It's just an objective, and practicing objective control is always good. Vladimir probably should just run, and I definitely should not do that. Um, yeah, it's a bad idea. Bad engage. We shouldn't do this. I don't know how I feel about this. I pop my ult. I get around behind Lux, and she flashes into my team, but I die, and I'm pretty sure the rest of my team is going to die here as well. And if they don't, I'll be very surprised. Yeah, there goes Vayne, and I think Vlad might get away unless he face checks that bush. Oh no, no, I don't think Vlad gets away either. I think we get aced here. Goodbye, Vlad. Goodbye, Vlad. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, Vlad pops, I think, Ghost and gets away. Good job, Vlad. Thankfully, the death timers have been shortened on this map so that you can usually get up relatively quick after a death, and it's pretty good because otherwise we would have lost that tower. Um, that altar was gone. Defending it would have been suicide. So I just go about and keep clearing my camps. I figure they just got one altar. They need to go refresh theirs. So you start going over, and that one's done too. Lux has a pretty good anti-brush for me with her Lumen Singularity. I think that's what it's called. Um, Again, once see, I have the proc from the lantern. I have like some attack damage. I have my tooth, and I'm gonna eat the camps alive now, which is great that they respawn so quickly because it keeps you in the game. Um, Here, a good ult on my part and a decent bola, a very nice Vladimir ultimate allows us to give a little bit of chase. Though I think this breaks down badly. Yeah, we just need to run here because Vayne is cleaning a lane. Maybe we can get this. I don't think so though, especially because they have a lot more poke. Um, just missed that binding. Yeah, and it's just a smart idea to back off. Again, camps up. Like it just makes the jungling so much easier. With in this map now that the camps aren't randomized, they're all static. Like you always know where something is gonna spawn. You can clear accordingly. So at this point I'm starting to like just not do like some of the camps because I don't really need to or my attention is needed elsewhere, and I'm keeping up in experience. Here we try and do Vilmore, and we probably could have gotten it, but the enemy team comes looking for us. So as opposed to taking damage from Valmor and trying to fight them, we run. Though Vladimir thinks it makes any kind of sense to sit there. I don't know why. Um, they're not gonna do Valmor, but they're gonna kill Vlad, and I can't quite get Lux, but Vayne can, which is good. And really, we should just be running here. I should have never turned back. That's the other nerf to his ultimate, and that is that his ult now has a lower timing for the stealth. It breaks sooner. Um, Here, Vayne picks up a very nice kill, but gets killed by Pantheon there, and we get aced. But Pantheon is too low to solo Valmor, so it's not necessarily a terrible ace. Um, but yeah, the nerfs don't really hurt too bad. The nerfs don't really hurt too bad, but they do inhibit him a little bit. You still have high ambush potential, but your range of ambush is a little bit lower because you can't just go in hide from like a billion miles away and just charge people down. But here I built a mallet because I'm going to build a Triforce. And while the Phage has been nerfed and Triforce has been nerfed, I still think that's a really strong item because of the way it just offers a lot of stats for Rengar. Um, Rengar is one of those champs where I feel like you can build a lot of items that give you a lot of things you need versus building like a Bloodthirster, which gives you a lot of attack damage and lifesteal, but only two items in a large supply versus several items in a that have a lot of stats. Like the Pillager has a lot of stats. The Lantern has a decent amount of stats. Triforce has a lot of stats. Your Tooth has a lot of stats. They also nerfed Rengar's Bone Tooth Necklace in that it gives you considerably less attack damage, and by that I mean it gives you 10 less attack damage at the start, but it's just a better item now. This is a bad engage. We really should just run here. I don't know why Vladimir decided to run in and fight that. I know he popped his ult, but sometimes, you just can't win an engage, and that was one of those engages we couldn't win. Here, they actually stand on our altar for quite some time. I don't know why, because it's locked. They can't get it right now. But yeah, this is the altar buff, by the way. With one altar, you get 4 gold per kill. With 2, I think you get a little bit of attack damage and ability power. Um, I start clearing out a wave because Rengar can still split push pretty well. And if you have your ult, you still have a pretty good escape. Um, they couldn't take our altar because it was locked, but their altar unlocked first. So I was able to just sit down and ninja an altar. And altars are kind of important. And now that it's locked, they can't get it either. So it's 4 gold per kill, 10% attack damage, and 10% ability power. So getting both of them is a good buff to have. Here, my team engages without me, and yeah, that Pantheon is just getting huge right now. I can't do anything here. Even if I had ulted and the went on the Lux, it would have just ended badly for us. I pop my ult, I jump on, kill Lux. Vladimir just kind of like he ran because he would have died, but for my one kill, I traded a death for it. Something I noticed is that you will die a lot harder if you make stupid plays in this new threes because yeah, I don't know. Vladimir ran away from the tower there with Pantheon. I know Pantheon is really decent tower diver, but you have pool. You can sit under the tower with pool, and the first one he'll block, but the one after that he won't. And I don't know. It seemed like Vladimir was just playing pretty poorly, or was just not really familiar with the game mechanic. I don't know. But I have my Sheen now. 2 parts of Triforce. I did notice that I don't really generate stacks as efficiently as Rengar now that they've nerfed him a little bit, or it might just be the flow of the game. So I think Tooth might be one of those situational, you're already snowballing items on him. But because it scales so well with his kit, and it's just as part of his kit, it just works so well. I don't know if it'll be something that you can't just not build. I mean, I love building Tooth on Rengar. I think is really necessary. I face check Valmor's lair right there when I really didn't have to because I have the Spectral Lantern, but I just wasn't used to it. Um, Everyone on their team is relatively tanky. I'm pretty sure Pantheon has both the new items like I do, but he also has the Sanguine Blade. I'm pretty glad they took Bloodthirster off here. I use my ult to scout because I'm pretty sure I can catch Pantheon, but he doesn't appear, so there's really nothing for me to do there. So we assume he backed, and because of that, we just start pushing this lane. Um, I really want to try to do Valmor by myself, so I start him. Valmor has obviously that little web pull thing. Uh, does a relatively decent amount of damage. I wasn't really trying to dodge anything because looking at the health, I was like, oh, I could just nuke her down. And as you can see, just pretty easy boss once you're of a decent level. I probably could have done that earlier. If the game wasn't at such a frenetic pace, maybe you can do Valmor as early as 12. I'm not sure, but in some champions even earlier. I don't know. Maybe Jack's even earlier than that. Uh, Here, Vlad and I have an opportunity to split push a turret, and Empowered Q still does pretty well. Pantheon ults in to try and stop it. I mean, global ults are great on small maps, but at this point, I have enough armor pen and enough damage to kind of 1v1 him, like if it came to that. And here we're getting beat up kind of bad, but I'm tanky enough that it's not a problem. I really wanted to jump to Lux, but I messed that up. But it doesn't matter because we kill Lux and we kill Volibear, and I survive with next to no life and back. Uh, the game is firmly in our control at this point, and it's still a close game. It's 19 kills to 18, but we do have the two towers from effective pushing. We do have the Valmor buff, which, in case you're wondering, Cresta Crushing Wrath. It gives you health and mana regen and increased attack speed and CDI. So it's a really good buff. I guess it would be more like a Baron buff than a Dragon buff, because Dragon doesn't give a buff; it just gives gold. So you can really look at the alters like Dragon Control and you can look at the alters like Dragon Control, and you could look at Valmor like Baron Control. Uh, I think around this point in the game, I was having trouble with camps not respawning, but that's because I was clearing them so quickly that I was at a point where jungling just wasn't all that necessary. The alters also say pretty cool stuff sometimes. I don't know. I really love this new map, and my team Dire Wolves is mostly a threes team as it is, so I really feel like we're gonna be able to do some work once my team gets some scrims in. Uh, Here, my ult just stupidly jumps me to a minion again. Uh, a lot of times that's just me being dumb. I get my empowered Q blocked, but this is a fight we can win because I'm tanky enough. I have Triforce now, and I have 5 stacks on my thing, so I'm just it's a fight we can win, and when it's a fight you can win, yeah, I gained 474 health, so I'm pretty sure I do benefit from the spell vamp. I'm just not 100% sure on that. I just gained a lot of health there, and I don't have a Spirit's Visage. Uh, there goes Lux, and now you can't really turtle this map as hard with just the inhibitor there because everything's all wide open, and push comps are gonna work if they can survive the early game, because and any bruisers that can push are gonna be really good. Like Rengar is gonna be really good here because I could just push into their base with Vayne and just we can destroy their nexus. Pantheon comes up. Vayne does a good job of keeping him away, and I'm able to kill the nexus. Um, it's a really good map. The Rengar changes don't diminish him all that much. I really hope that by watching this, you get a good view of the map. I tried to be all over. Um, it's going to be a little longer video, 30 minutes, because, like I said, WoW Recorder is broken. But I hope this helped you out a little bit. If it did, please hit like. Please subscribe. I'm going to have more videos coming out. Definitely like, because likes really help me a lot. If anything else, I'll catch you in the next episode.